The first time the people of Aiyetoro heard the name Pastor Abeni, they whispered it the way one speaks of a rising star, with awe and trembling. They said his touch could heal the dying. They said his handkerchief, a golden square of silk that shimmered under the sun, had brought sight to the blind and wealth to the poor. They said his prayers could bend heaven itself. But no one asked how. And no one, not even the most curious soul, wondered what the golden handkerchief cost him, until a quiet widow named Mama Kemi began to ask questions. Aiyetoro was a small town hidden between red hills and dusty roads. Every Sunday, the air was filled with songs that rose from the church like smoke, sweet, thick, and full of hope. The people came in crowds, barefoot and believing, carrying their sickness, their debts, their broken hearts. And at the front of them all stood Pastor Abeni. He was tall, dark, and gentle in voice. His suits were always spotless, his shoes shone like mirrors. But what people loved most was his smile, that calm, fatherly smile that made even the most hopeless soul believe that tomorrow could be better. When he lifted his golden handkerchief, the congregation gasped. The cloth glowed in the light, its edges embroidered with strange symbols no one could read. And when he waved it, just once, people fell to the ground crying, laughing, or singing. A woman with a twisted leg stood up and danced. A child who had never spoken before shouted hallelujah. A poor farmer who had lost everything returned the next Sunday driving a new car. Miracles, too many to count. And so the people said, truly, God walks with Pastor Abeni. Among those who came to the church every Sunday was Mama Kemi, a quiet woman in her 40s with eyes that had seen too much. She sat in the back, her wrapper faded from washing, her feet calloused from the long walk from her village. She didn't come for money. She didn't come for fame. She came because her only son, Toby, had been sick for months. Doctors had called it a strange fever. The hospitals had taken all her savings. Now, all she had left was faith. So she came to Abeni's church, the Fire of Glory ministry, holding her son's picture in her hands. When she saw the miracles that day, she wept. She believed, truly believed, that God had finally heard her. After the service, she joined the line of those waiting for a private touch from the man of God. When it was her turn, Pastor Abeni looked at her kindly. "My daughter," he said, "your tears have reached heaven. Bring your son next Sunday. The golden handkerchief will touch him, and he shall live." She fell to her knees, thanking him. "Bless you, Daddy. Bless you, man of God." That night, Mama Kemi could not sleep. She sat beside Toby's bed, whispering prayers into the darkness. She imagined the golden handkerchief brushing his forehead, imagined him waking up laughing, asking for food. She smiled through her tears, believing that in a few days, everything would be fine. Sunday came. The sun rose bright and merciless, but the crowd was larger than ever. People came from neighboring towns, holding babies, walking sticks, wheelchairs. Some even slept in front of the church gate overnight just to get a seat inside. When Pastor Abeni appeared, the people screamed with joy. "Daddy! Daddy!" they shouted. "Touch me, man of God. Use the golden handkerchief." He lifted his hand and silence fell. His smile glowed. He began to preach about faith, obedience, and sacrifice. He spoke softly, yet every word carried power. Then he called for healing. When Mama Kemi stepped forward with her son, her heart beat so loud she thought it would burst. Toby was weak, his skin pale, his breath shallow. She laid him before the altar. Pastor Abeni raised the golden handkerchief. It shimmered like sunlight on water. He prayed, sweat pouring down his face. The crowd shouted and clapped. Then he touched the boy's forehead. For a moment, silence. Then Toby's eyes fluttered open. He coughed once, twice, then sat up. "Mama," he whispered. The crowd screamed. People ran forward, crying, kneeling, dancing. Mama Kemi hugged her son tight, crying uncontrollably. "Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Pastor," she shouted. That night, she couldn't stop smiling. She told everyone she met that Pastor Abeni was truly a man sent from heaven. She promised to testify at the next service. But that night, while Toby slept peacefully for the first time in months, something strange happened. A faint golden dust appeared on his forehead, the exact place the handkerchief had touched. And when Mama Kemi leaned close, she thought she heard him whisper in his sleep, "It's dark here, Mama. I can't see them." She froze. "See who?" But he was already silent again. Over the next few days, Toby seemed healthy, eating, running, laughing. But then, on the fifth night, he woke up screaming. "They are calling me, Mama," he cried. "They are calling my name." "Who?" she asked, holding him tight. "The people in the dark river," he shouted, trembling. "They are shining. They say I owe them something." Mama Kemi prayed all night. By morning, Toby was calm again, but pale, as if something was draining the life out of him. She went back to the church to see Pastor Abeni. He welcomed her with his usual smile. "Your son is healed," he said. "But you must maintain the miracle." "How?" she asked. "Sacrifice," he said softly. "Faith must be fed. You must give something precious, something from your heart, to seal his healing." "I have nothing left," she whispered. He smiled. "Then give service. Join the prayer warriors. Clean the church. Serve God with your hands, and your son will live." So she did. Every morning, she came before sunrise, sweeping, washing, scrubbing the floors where the golden handkerchief had once waved. She prayed until her knees ached. But each night, Toby grew weaker. The golden dust spread to his chest, his arms. And sometimes, when she touched his skin, it felt cold, like metal. One evening, while cleaning the pastor's office, she found something strange. Behind the shelf, a small box, covered in cloth. Curiosity took hold of her. She opened it. Inside were locks of hair, fingernails, and small stones carved with faces. Each stone had a name written beneath it. Her breath caught. The first name she saw was Toby. She dropped the box. The stones rolled out, whispering faintly, as if sighing. The door opened. Pastor Abeni stood there, his calm smile gone. His eyes burned like coals. "Why are you touching what you don't understand, woman?" he said quietly. "I saw my son's name," she cried. "What have you done to him?" He sighed, walking slowly toward her. "You people," he said. "You want blessings without cost. Do you think power comes from nothing? Do you think heaven gives freely? She stepped back. God doesn't take children's lives for miracles. He chuckled, low and cold. God doesn't, he said. But the ones beneath do. And they answer faster. She gasped. Pastor. Don't call me that, he said sharply. You wanted healing. You got it. But the river spirits demand exchange. For every life saved, another must fade. Tears filled her eyes. You gave my son to them. I gave them what they asked for, he said. The handkerchief chooses. I don't decide who it takes. Her knees gave way. Please, please let him go. He looked at her sadly. It's too late. Once marked by gold, the spirit already claims him. That night, she ran home, her heart pounding like drums. She found Toby sleeping, the golden dust now glowing faintly. His breathing was shallow. She held him and cried until dawn. Then she made a decision. If the golden handkerchief had power to take, it could also be destroyed. At sunrise, she went back to the church. The gates were locked, but she climbed the fence. The building was empty. She went straight to the altar. The golden handkerchief lay there, glowing softly in a beam of light. She reached for it, but the moment her fingers touched it, fire shot through her arm. She screamed. The cloth came alive, twisting like a living thing, wrapping around her hand. Voices filled the air, whispering, crying, laughing. She fell to the ground, wrestling with it, shouting prayers. Let my son go, she cried. In the name of the living God, let him go. The voices grew louder, and then, suddenly, there was silence. The handkerchief burned to ash in her hands. And far away, in her small house, Toby opened his eyes, breathing freely again. But when the people came to church that Sunday, they found the altar empty. The golden handkerchief was gone. Pastor Abeni was gone too. Some said he ran away. Others said the spirits took him back. But those who had received miracles began to fall sick again. The blind lost their sight. The rich became poor. The healed grew weak. And they remembered the widow who had once asked too many questions. Months passed. Mama Kemi and Toby moved away to a quiet village near the river. Life was simple, hard, but peaceful. Toby played with other children again. Sometimes, she saw a faint scar of gold on his wrist, but he was alive. That was all that mattered. She told no one what had happened, but sometimes, at night, when she washed her face by the river, she saw her reflection shimmer like gold for a second before returning to normal. And in the wind, faintly, she heard a whisper. Faith without truth is a chain of gold, beautiful, but heavy to carry. Years later, people still tell the story of the golden handkerchief. Some say it was a tale of warning, that not all miracles are divine. Others say it was proof that the gods of the old rivers never truly left, only changed their names. But Mama Kemi knows the truth. She learned that some blessings come with shadows. And that sometimes, the greatest miracle is simply the courage to see what others refuse to see. Please let us know where you are watching from, leave a comment below, we love to hear from you. Please like the video and share with your family and friends. Please also subscribe to this channel so we can bring more videos to you. Thanks for being part of us.